Alrighty, this is the third part of going over the Arkansas real estate general questions. Let's go. Also, these are units 7, 8, 11, 9, and 10. Alright. A person who holds the greatest ownership rights in the property that is allowed by law owns a D. Fee simple estate. A father owns a house as a fee simple owner and gives his daughter a life estate in the property with a provision that the property will pass to the son after her death. The son has a B. Remainder interest. Rights provided by statute that protect a family's residence against creditors are called C. Homestead rights. A fee simple property owner deeds title to the property to a church group as long as they run a battered women's shelter on the property. The type of ownership interest held by the church group is C. Defeasible fee. Which of the following is true if an owner has a fee simple estate? D. It is still subject to government powers. A tenant and landlord agree on an oral lease for 3 years. This lease is probably C. Unenforceable. The central heating unit in an apartment building is defective and cannot provide heat to a tenant's apartment. In the middle of winter, the tenant decides to vacate the apartment and stop paying rent. This situation could be best described as C. Constructive eviction, because the heat does not work. 3. Sally's apartment lease has expired, but the building owner agrees to let her stay in the apartment until the owner's parents, who are in the process of selling their house, are ready to move in. The tenancy held by Sally is in C. Estate at will. Which of the following situations will most likely terminate an apartment lease? A. Expiration of the term. The type of lease agreement where tenant pays a fixed amount of rent and the landlord pays all of the building expenses is called a gross lease. Which of the following lease agreements would a landlord be least likely to use with a rental tenant in a shopping center? A gross lease. And a property owner, if a property owner wanted to clear a defect in the title, he or she would use a C. Suit to quiet title. To show evidence of marketable title, what usually accompanies an abstract? A legal opinion of title, because they go back and receive the attorney if the attorney says that is good. So it is A legal opinion of title. All of the conveniences and legal instruments affecting a property's title will be included in an B abstract of title. Which of the following would be considered evidence of marketable title to real estate? B. A title insurance policy. A deed is recorded in the public records to A. Give constructive notice of ownership. In a real estate transaction, a bill of sale will be used to transfer ownership of A. Personal property. Which of the following will be considered community property? D. Property bought by one of the parties during the marriage. Bob and Bill bought an apartment building and took title to the properties as joint tenants. Bob died and left a will. Bill now owns the apartment building. A. Inservity. John, Ted, and Alice owns property as joint tenants. Alice sells her ownership interest to Sam. Which best describes the current ownership of the property? A. John and Ted remain joint tenants owning a 2/3 interest. Under a trust agreement, title to property is held for someone's benefit by the B. Trustee. What best describes ownership in a multi-unit building if a person owns his or her unit plus a percentage of the common parts of the building and grounds? A. Condominium. Alice lives in an apartment building that is owned by a corporation. Alice, like the other building's residents, owns shares in the corporation and it has a proprietary lease right to the apartment. This type of ownership is called D. Cooperative. Which of the following provides rights that a spouse has in the property? D. Community property. States and local governments usually require the transfer tax used in the transfer of real estate to be paid by the B. Seller. Which of the following type of deed includes no warranties? No warranties is C. The quick claim deed. Title to real estate passes when A deed is delivered and accepted. Which of the following is required for a valid deed? C. Legal description. Bob builds a log cabin on a vacant parcel of real estate in a rural area. Over the years, he drills a well and continues to live and make improvements on the property. Bob may become the owner of the land even though it is privately owned by someone else if he has complied with the state laws of C. Adverse possession, because he used the land for a certain time, so now he can take over. The legal process whereby the property of a deceased person is transferred and debts are paid is known as B. Probate, because everyone will go to probate. All right, y'all, that is units 7, 9, 11, and 10. Wait, 7, 8, 10, 9, 11. Yeah. So those are those units. So that is the third section.